welcome to Dub Stock Live, brought to you by Mansleedy's Sleep World. The Warriors had that playoff feel down in Los Angeles where they crushed the Lakers with their three-point shooting. That's Zena, Keita. I'm Kerith, Burke. The Warriors win the season series against the Lakers. They also have the tiebreaker now, and they're feeling a little bit more in control of their playoff destiny with hopes to move out of that 10 spot. Let's take a look at the standings because this was a massive win for the Warriors. Here they are, okay? They're just a half game back now of the Lakers. Also, only one game back behind Sacramento. So, depending on how things shake out with the Lakers and Sac, there is a chance the Warriors could move up into that 8 seed. That's all the Warriors want, Zena. They just want a chance. And our buddy Anthony Slater put this really succinctly with the Warriors have 3 games left. Okay, they're controlling their own destiny. They've got 3 games left. If they win all of those, they could finish ahead of the Lakers, right? So it is possible that the Warriors could climb into 8th with a 3-0 finish. So a lot of things have to move around. The Warriors have to take care of their business. But when they play like this, you got to feel encouraged.
You got to feel encouraged also with the Warriors being in charge of their own destiny, as you put it. This is a team that has been capable of being able to be in an unpredictable position and still finding a way to a 2022 championship. They are a team that when they have it, it's in their control. Playing well, playing locked in, hitting the shots like they were tonight, playing as a team, they can pull it out. So it's a really great position if you're a Warriors fan, if you're on the Warriors, to say, this is no longer about what others do as much as it is about what we do.
There you go. All right, the Warriors hit 26 three-pointers. That's one off the franchise record. Steph Curry went 6 of 6 from 3, and he just sat down at the podium.
How confident are you guys with the way that you guys are able, playing right now and finishing this season out, that you guys can, make a run once you guys get in there?
I think this whole year we've maintained confidence that we can be the team that we're showing we are right now. We obviously have a lot of work to do, but it's nice to have good vibes rolling into this part of the year. Try to, finish the year strong. A lot can happen with the seeding and all that, but we know it's going to come down to probably 2 games next week that can give us a chance to kind of reset and go win a playoff series. But it's the way that we're doing it, the way that we're playing at a consistent level. It's inspiring. Now we just kind of ride the wave until next week.
Draymond was talking about when I guess he got into there was a non-call on him that he was arguing with the ref, but he said Steph was right there and he kind of kept me in check or stood up for him. What was your recollection of that play? I think it was Austin Reeves across his mouth or his face.
Yeah, it's one of those, we always talk about Draymond, they say walking the line, whatever that means. Showing his competitive side, he thought he got hit, said something. There's a little quick wall that was put up by, I think it was Justin. And no, it was Jason, I think. But anyway, it was a conversation that I felt like was fair on both sides. And once Draymond moved away, it was just like, hey, don't let it be a reputation thing. He wasn't disrespectful. He was just demonstrative, and that's fair game for a lot of people in the league. And at the end of the day, just move on. That's the message for Draymond, but for us to have his back when he's walking the line the right way. And he did that tonight.
Was that you just trying to diffuse the situation in a way?
For sure. And just make sure, I'm not going to ever tell Draymond at that point, as long as he's not stepping overboard, don't talk. But there is a moment where, okay, you made yourself heard and now let's play basketball. And he did that to perfection. So he doesn't need a babysitter in that respect. Don't get that twisted, but it's, just trying to read the room, read the situation.
Hey, Steph. Steve has coached the team through a lot this season, including obviously Dre's suspension, asking Hall of Famers, Klay, Chris to come off the bench, young guys' expectations. How would you evaluate just sort of how he has handled it all?
It's a very difficult job for sure, where you have a lot of options. There's I think for 3 years now we've been talking about the vets and the championship core and the young guys and trying to mix and match and put the right lineups out there. And like you say, you dealt with availability problems all year, whether it's Draymond's situation or whether it's injuries. And you could probably argue that there's 8 or 9 guys that could be in, closing lineups, could be in starting lineups. You got Trace in there now. The way JK's come on, like there's just so many things to balance, and I don't envy that job at all because it's difficult and it's about managing people and keeping people, motivated to say, hey, whatever you're asked to do, go do it, and it helps the team. And he's very consistent with that message. So, at the end of the day, I'd say he's done a great job of, balancing it all. And we're not in the best of situations, obviously, knowing where we are in the seeding, but the way that we've kind of tried to turn the season around and give ourselves something to play for has a lot to do with Steve.
Steph, once again, you guys are still right here. It doesn't matter, 1st seed, 11th seed, playing. After all the championships, is it different from year to year? You guys shot 64% from the 3 tonight. It just feels like the Warriors doing what the Warriors do. Is this when you just really lock in? Is it the same zone for you, or is it just kind of year to year the way you handle this part of the season?
It's year to year because you have to evolve with what challenges faces this particular team. We're not the team of old, but that's okay. Like, as long as you make the necessary adjustments, you have contributions from a lot of different guys that weren't a part of those championship teams, and they're coming to their own and becoming very reliable and consistent. Parts of what we do. Like I said, we had a up and down year. We've had a lot going on. Tragedy on our team. Like I said, all the mixing and matching of lineups and stuff. But we have a pulse. And that's all we need. No matter how next week plays out, it's tough to compare it to the years of past when we're getting what do you call it? The little announcements. Oh, we've clinched the 10th spot in the play-in. Like, that's weird, but at least you have something to play for.
A chance, a hope, a dream, whatever you want to call it. A pulse. Hey, listen, whatever you want to call it. The Warriors should feel good about what they did down in LA tonight. 63.4% from 3. Yeah. 26 threes. Okay, there you go. A historic night, in fact. There's some small print down there, but yeah. Historic night when 8 of the guys, out of 9 guys that you're playing, 8 of them at least hit 1 3. Everybody was involved. And Draymond, should we talk about Draymond hitting these threes?
We could talk about everyone hitting these threes. I mean, the way that the Warriors scored these threes was beautiful. There was a variety of ways. It was in transition, in the trail spot, rejecting screens, curling off screens. I mean, you name it. The Warriors came into this game locked in, shooting in rhythm, very familiar with their game, and that's what you want to see out of the Warriors, especially at this point of the season where this is your bread and butter, and you know this about yourself. And so being able to shoot and do what you do well in this type of environment where play-in positions are at are the things that you're playing for, that's incredibly important. But yes, Draymond Green, 5 of 7 from the floor, and those are the only shots he put up tonight. Yeah. I mean, it is surreal. He said in the post-game interview on TNT that he just came in and his teammates encouraged him to shoot. And once he put some shots up, he felt super locked in. And so he just kept putting them up. And that's what it is. Shoot or shoot. Until somebody cools you off, you better go ahead and shoot, boy. And that's exactly what he did. And it was great to see. I think it elevated the rest of the play for the Warriors around him. And then you mentioned 10 assists on top of his threes. I mean, everything the Warriors needed out of Draymond Green tonight, he provided, including 5 threes.
Yes, he started 5 of 5 from 3. Well, he said post-game that he got in the gym a little bit. He wanted to get his rhythm up. You know that he likes to put on a show in LA as well. And looking at how the Warriors started this game, Draymond had his fingerprints on the first 5 buckets, either with assists or with his own back-to-back threes. So Draymond on one. He knows how essential he is to winning these games. He is our BMW ultimate performer because, yes, we also need to spotlight his 10 assists. in this game.
Yeah.
So Draymond came correct for this one because this was a W the Warriors had to get.
What you love most about Draymond's threes is how he got them. A lot of where he gets the ball is usually in that trail position. And what you want in that trail position is a post player that is a knockdown shooter. And the thing about it is, even though Draymond has had a phenomenal three-point shot percentage this season, a lot of teams aren't really putting him in that category of being a pick and pop shooter, which he was tonight, being a trail position shooter, which he was tonight. And so when you have someone in that position that's like, okay, forget it, Matley, if you want to. I'll put this up, and he succeeds. That's great, and it elevates his confidence, which allows him to elevate his play in all other ways. Whether it's getting charges like he did in the paint, got a blocked shot tonight, and then also, as you mentioned, being able to have 10 assists, the creation for his teammates around him. It was a very complete showing. And then the 6 rebounds, of course.
There you go. So Draymond, anytime he gets to flex on people or shout at people, or he had 4 assists in the first quarter too. Like Draymond Green propelled the team to a very early lead. Yep. He kept them keep it. What an outstanding game from an array of guys from 3, arriving at 26 again, just 1 off the franchise record. All right, so we were talking about getting contributions from everywhere. Let's spotlight the bench next. Because again, these young guys are coming through as Steve Kerr starts to tighten his rotations. That's next on Dubs Talk Live, brought to you by Mancini Sleep World.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by Mancini Sleep World. Visit Mancini Sleep World during our We'll Pay the Sales Tax event. Save big on premium mattresses, plus free delivery. Hurry in now or visit us online at sleepworld.com.
Hey everybody, we're back on YouTube. Somebody's saying Steph had some great passes tonight. 8 assists for Steph. Yes, he did indeed. Zena, you're getting compliments on your style change tonight. Catherine is asking how many turnovers. The Warriors had 15. They gave up 14 points off of those. But, Kat, considering that the Warriors had been having some games where they had 20 or more turnovers, okay, this feels a little bit.
This is their average. They average 15 turnovers per game, and they average 16 points off of it. So you're happy to see them not go over their average and then go under the amount of points they let go off of that.
You know what I just noticed?
What?
80 field goal attempts for the Warriors compared to 96 for the Lakers.
But it was like that since the half.
That's what happens when you start burying people with threes, though. Okay.
Yeah. They had to put up a barrage of shots to try and keep up with the efficiency. And that's why it always felt like, even though the Warriors had the lead tonight, you felt as if the Warriors weren't in the lead, because it kept seeming as if the Lakers were just doing more than the Warriors. And that was because every single time they went down, they were taking advantage of their half-court shots, but they were getting them up early because LeBron was putting up a million shots. I mean,
33.
22 attempts tonight. That's 8 more or 6 more than Klay Thompson, who had the most amount of attempts on the Warrior side. So lots of action. And then Rui Hachimura with 21.
Yeah.
So they were just putting up as many shots as possible to try and, outdo the impact of the Warriors' three-point shooting.
They won a game where Steph only attempted 9 field goals. Very interesting. Okay. All right, we're talking about bench next, or we're talking about Wiggins? Okay, Wiggins and then Klay. All right, thank you. We are back on Dubs Talk Live, brought to you by Mancini Sleep World. And before we get to the bench, a few more guys to spotlight. Andrew Wiggins, healthy for this game, missed the previous 2 with an ankle injury. You kind of had a feeling that maybe if it was the postseason, Andrew would have played in the last game. Sure. But buy guys some time to start feeling as good as possible for the postseason. And when you have a healthy Wiggins and he's taking turns on LeBron, he's contributing on defense and on offense.
He's contributing on defense, 3 blocked shots tonight. And then when you're talking about the offense, he's a floor spacer. He can hit that trail shot. He can also do some fancy footwork inside. Wiggins in the post is dangerous. He's got the strength to go up against the bodies of an Austin Reeves, but then he's also got the agility to be able to get past a Rui Hachimura. This is the beauty of a Wiggins who is in his prime. He can do it all. Outside, inside, you name it, he can do it.
I like that. Bullying with the shoulders, spinning when you need a little of that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the Wiggins that the Warriors need heading into the postseason. Hey, we have not talked about Klay Thompson, the leading scorer in this game. A very efficient night, 10 of 16, 5 of 10. His dad is up there in the radio booth, okay? He spent a lot of time in this Lakers locker room. He loves playing in LA. Tonight, he seemed very aware of the moment, but also really patient with his shots, playing within the flow of the offense.
Oh, yeah. He was coming off of screens and being able to find exactly when he wanted to shoot. When you have a Klay Thompson that isn't rushed, that is playing within the confines and the bounds of his game and his rhythm, that is when you have the most efficient and effective Klay Thompson. He came off of curl screens tonight, beautifully mechanical shot as we've always known him to have. But also, whenever he didn't come off a screen with his feet exactly set, what'd you see him do? One dribble, look around him, and reset. And that is when you know he's feeling himself.
Yeah.
He's in his game. He knows what he wants out of the offense. He knows what he wants out of his own offense. And so you love to see him being able to have that comfort. But then I also appreciate the fact that, hey, in the midst of him doing all of that for himself, he also got 3 assists. So this is a Klay Thompson we've been seeing in the last few games, being able to play make for himself, but also play make for his teammates.
There you go. All right, the bench outscoring the Lakers 45-20 tonight. The Lakers getting a dozen from Spencer Dinwiddie, but not that much else. The Warriors going deep, although not too much deeper, okay? Steve Kerr only played 4 guys in the meaningful minutes of this one. Brandon Pajemski had himself a game, 5 of 6, 3 for 3. Pods just sat down at the podium.
What changes for you guys offensively when Draymond's making threes like that?
It's basically playing a 5-out lineup, especially in that first group. Trace is such a threat around the rim, and Draymond's floor spacing. So you obviously see the pluses on defense every night, having them 2 out there. But when Draymond makes threes, it changes our team. Obviously, collectively, we had 26 of those tonight, 37 assists, which is incredible. Nah, my mindset is the same. Coming off the bench, whether we're up or down, my mindset's the same. Just kind of do everything I can to, make my minutes worthwhile and help the team. And I think for the most part, I did that tonight. And like I said, we had 26 threes and 37 assists as a team. So offensively, we played really well.
How much work have you seen Draymond put in on his shot like this year and last summer?
Yeah, it's been incredible to see him at the facility, even when he was suspended and not being able to play. The work he was putting in, it's paying off right now. And I think the basketball gods reward those who put the effort and the time in. And he's one of those guys that is really passionate. You guys obviously see that on the floor. But behind the scenes, he puts as much work in as anybody.
How much do you think about seeding at this point, knowing the 8 is still out there? Maybe not necessarily in your control, but tiebreaker, you secure that tonight. How much do you think about seeding the rest of the way?
Yeah, we think about it all the time. I mean, anybody in the league would rather have an 8 seed over a 9 seed. You get 2 cracks at it to win 1 game. And quite frankly, we're better on the road than we are at home. So if we could get the 8 seed and play the 7 seed on the road, I think we can get it done. But in terms of who we play, we don't really care. It's just we're trying to sneak into that 8 seed because it's right there in front of us. Yeah, we're very confident. I think we have the 2nd best record in the league since All-Star break. The camaraderie and the togetherness of us, not even on the court but off the court has been there and consistent the whole year. And we're just kind of feeding off that good energy, the good vibes on the floor. And, the results have shown it. I think we're 8-1 the last 9 or something like that. So just that collectiveness, it reflects in the assists that we have, 37 of them. So I couldn't ask for a better situation, at least for me as a rookie.
Guys figuring out some good situations, learning what their role is. All right, we put a little spotlight on Pajemski. How about 9 assists for Chris Paul, organizing that second unit, helping them keep the lead. Gary Payton, what we need to put on there too is that he had a massive block. Massive block on Hachimura, who was like, no foul on that. No, sir. Keep playing.
Correct. Landed on his back, looked around. Even Gary Payton had to look around and be like,
He's
am
like,
I going to
no
get called
foul?
for that?
Nope, no foul.
Okay, no, it was all ball. Gary Payton is capable of making those type of big plays that really just changes the pace of the game a little bit and changes the energy around it. He was mic'd up tonight having a ball of a time, and that's what the Warriors look like. Tonight, they were just connecting. 37 assists on 47 made shots, and these two right here were contributing to that. Chris Paul, we have loved to see him taking his own game into his own hands, putting the ball on the floor and being able to put it up. And then this one, Brandon Pajemski, he's been able to have double figures in over almost 40 games this season. This is unreal that the Warriors have two of the best rookies in the league on one team. And they be looking out for each other, folks.
Yeah.
I mean, Brandon Pajemski and Trace Jackson-Davis out there having fun, being able to get themselves some lobs and some assists there. But Brandon Pajemski in transition, when his team isn't with him, nowadays, you saw it tonight, dribbles out, pulls up the three. Swish. This is another element of Brandon Pajemski's game. He's usually that drive inside and kick it out. Oh no, Warriors, you got a rookie that can put it up himself, and the rest of the league take notice. It's a lot of fun to watch Pajemski grow and evolve over the season.
Oh, there's no hesitation.
Oh,
about
no. The
no.
confident rookie.
Yeah.
Confident.
Yes, I like watching that. And back to GP too. Remember, he had that wide open three. He even hesitated. He's like, he took some weird steps. He's like, I'll shoot it. Was it an air ball? Did it barely touch the rim? But then he went back on defense and got that block on Hachimura. Okay,
He had to make it up. He had to make it up.
Yes. But
think
that's what
about
I
it,
mean.
people forget about him.
Goldfish memory.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
right.
Run
That's
back.
right.
Okay, when we come back, we need to take a look at these standings one more time. Let's break everything down. Let's also talk real quick about Klay Thompson on Draymond's podcast. It was good. We'll talk about our favorite moments next when Dubs Talk Live returns. Yeah, maybe BP and TJD, Rookie Team of the Year, first team, second team. I think these guys are definitely in the conversation. There
Absolutely.
you go.
They should absolutely be in that conversation. I mean, what
Wait,
Pajemski is doing as a rookie that has had some up and down in this one season. He's had some scoring droughts. He's had some turnover. I wouldn't call it a drought. Maybe floods. He's had some parts of the season where it's like, okay, where you going? You're going inside with no direction. What's going on? And he's cleaned it up. And that's what's so beautiful about both of these rookies is that they learn so fast. The second they make a mistake, they're immediately trying to make up for it. The second they make a mistake in a game, the next play they're making up for it in some sort of hustle play and some sort of, extra beyond the whistle type of play. You can't ask for anything else outside of a rookie. It's just to be like, listen, goldfish memory, as you mentioned, but also here's where you're best capable or tooled for us. This is where we need you to be able to lock in. TJD locks in on defense. He locks in the pick and roll. He locks in on rebounds. Brandon Pajemski, push the pace, play great help rotation defense, and then also hustle. Just hustle. Whatever you do, hustle. And they do all of those things.
Yeah.
Always. It's really exciting.
Did you have a chance to listen to the podcast?
I did not.
You did not? That's okay.
I did not.
Yeah.
I did hear some clips.
Yeah,
But I haven't
okay.
heard it yet.
Okay. All right. I'll figure out a way to tee you up.
I
and just
definitely heard
say
the
my-
Klay response, which makes me happy because it sounded a lot like what I said.
The Klay response? Which one?
To Draymond asking him,
What do you think about my
Correct.
ejections? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How much time do we have for the block? Ooh. Welcome back to Dubs Talk Live, brought to you by Mancini Sleep World. The Warriors take care of business down in LA, which means, although they have clinched the 10th seed, or at least clinched a playoff berth, they will be a play-in team. They can move up, okay? Only a half game separates them from the Lakers. 1 game separates them from Sacramento. So if the Warriors take care of business and finish 3-0, okay, if they win all the remaining games, there is a chance they could move up into that 8 spot. That's what they want, because if you're a 7 or 8, you have 2 chances to win.
oh yeah,
2. Okay, 7 and 8 play each other. The winner of that one advances. The
You technically
loser
only have to win one game.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes. That's what they want. Okay, here are the 3 games. There is a back-to-back, but Portland has been struggling this season. The
very
Pelicans do have something to play for. That game's going to have a lot of juice. Utah, the Warriors handled Utah the first time they saw them on Sunday, but people play for pride.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not a gimme.
And Utah wasn't fully tooled. They
Correct.
didn't have all of their players, so.
Correct. So there's still some ways the Warriors could get bitten, still some ways the Warriors could take control of their destiny. They have to feel good about where they're at now, 9 games, over 500. I'm still digesting these 26 three-pointers. Do you find it interesting that on a game where AD wasn't playing, okay, one of the best shot blockers in the league, one of the best paint patrollers in the league, so presumably it would be more wide open at the rim, and the Warriors are like, no, we'll crush you from 3 tonight.
It's a really great point because you look at the points in the paint breakdown. This is where the Warriors should have taken advantage.
They could have,
Lakers,
yeah.
54 points in the paint. Warriors, 40 points in the paint. Interesting. You would have thought that the Warriors would have been slashing and driving and pick and rolling and lobbing all the way through, but hey, that's okay.
Sure.
They were able to make their bread and butter outside of the paint.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, what Monty Poole said in the postgame today, this 3-point performance is not it's not easily replicable.
It's not
right?
necessarily
It's not
sustainable.
consistent. It's not sustainable.
Yeah.
So this is where the Warriors will have to be able to not only shoot, but remember a Jonathan Kuminga, get him more involved. I thought he was a little bit disengaged after going 0 for 5 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
He needs to be more involved, more flashes, which you saw later in the game. More of the post-ups from Andrew Wiggins, more pick and roll lobs to TJD. These are the types of things that the Warriors will need to be able to take advantage of in these upcoming games where there's going to be some post presence, especially with the Pelicans.
Okay. All right. If you haven't had a chance to listen to the Draymond Green podcast, he had Klay Thompson on the pod. The questions were outstanding. Like, the questions were fire. It was some really honest stuff right there. Draymond's show has been nominated for one of the best live podcasts. Congratulations, Draymond. New media. But really, take a listen because Draymond is asking Klay, how do you feel when I'm ejected? Klay Thompson gave a very sweet and honest answer. I mean, he straight up asked Klay, like, what do you want in free agency? That answer was very interesting. I'll just tell you, I mean, he wants to be a Warrior.
Yeah.
He wants to be a Warrior. But there are some other things that he is considering. You hear like a really reflective Klay Thompson, understanding that, you know, he's not in his early 20s anymore. Like, there is a twilight to one's career. And he's thinking about that now and all the things that he wants in his career. He was also talking about the confidence that Mark Jackson had in him and Steph, calling them the best backcourt the NBA has ever seen. The way that people laughed at Mark Jackson. But look what they established. And tonight it feels like it comes full circle. Steph and Klay changing the league with their 3-point shooting. The rest of the league is trying to catch up. And then the Warriors have a 3-point shooting night like this. Okay? You kind of get glimpses of the past. Anyway, if you have a chance to listen to the podcast, it's really good. If you have a chance to listen to the Dubstock podcast, Monty and I will have a new episode for you
plug, girl.
tomorrow. Zena, Keita, thank you very much. I'm Kerith Burke. We will continue the conversation on YouTube. The Warriors get a big W down in LA. Steph needs to take more than 9 shots. I would agree with you there, although tonight it seemed to work. Yeah, tonight it seemed to work. I forgot to mention.
And this is the thing, too. I hear a lot of people say that. A player needs to take more shots, etc. These players don't need to do more than the game gives them.
Sure.
And if the game is allowing your teammates, like a Draymond Green, to go 5 for 5 in the first half, you give your 5 of your typical 12 shots, your 12 or 17 shots per game, give those 5 to Draymond. Good to go. You don't need to put more in, because when you do that, that's what happens.
When you got 8 assists.
And you got 8 assists, right?
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you've got a 96 attempted shots compared to 80, and they won with 80.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, you don't have to keep putting up shots if your teammates are hitting the shots that you typically would put up. What you call that? Playmaking. Let me give you the ball. Let me give you those assists. So I actually it's an interesting stat when you're scouting and you're looking at, a box score, and you're looking at, like, how did I do, et cetera. If a player that typically has, let's say on average, 20 attempts a game, and they're the highest score.
A lot.
That's a lot of shots.
Yeah.
Right? But in college, that happens, where you have a star player, et cetera. But in the NBA even, there's star players that take 20 shots per game, If they don't have 20 shots, look at their assists. If they have like 12 or 10, where did the other 10 shots go? Usually it is to their teammates. And if they, especially in a win category, in a win situation, that means they gave those shots up. They didn't need to take them. And that's a good thing. That's a great thing because that means it's a collective effort.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's what you want.
And I didn't mention this during the show, but I had it on my little piece of paper. Is it a coincidence that following a rest night, Steph Curry comes back and goes 6 for 6 from 3? Legs look a little fresher?
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. All
You
right.
never, it's so hard to tell what is it a coincidence, right? Because it's like the whole Klay coming off the bench thing, right? Like Klay coming off the bench had crazy numbers. Klay starting, crazy numbers, you know? So you never really know, but it'd be interesting to do some stats and look into the data.
Fresh legs?
Probably helped.
I'm going to say yes. All right, let's get out of here. It's my bedtime.
Fair.
All right, goodbye. Thank you.
Bye,
See you later.
guys. Good night.